Hey, what's going on guys? My name is David Van Asche. I'm a real estate broker here in Arizona, and in this video I'm going to talk to you about 55 plus neighborhoods. So the concept of a 55 and up active adult community is not new. It's actually been around since the 60s. I guess you could argue it was actually like invented and started in Sun City here in Arizona way back then. It opened in January 1st, 1960 actually, and it has since then expanded to become a really large thing. Obviously they're here, they're really big in Florida. There's even some communities around Texas and other parts of the country, I'm sure. But here in this video, we're talking about the Phoenix metro area, Central Phoenix, and what it's like to find a good fit for a 55 and up neighborhood. There's over 70 of them just in the Phoenix metro. If you consider the entire state of Arizona, we're well over 100. So it can be intimidating. Like, where do you start? How do you even decide what is a good community? What do I want? I just had a client from Minnesota. They did really well in their career and they've been down to Arizona to visit a few times, friends, family, but they want to come down here, or they already did, we found them a place, but they wanted to come down and figure out, like, where should I go? Like, what exactly are my options now that I'm the one spending the money and making decisions on where we're gonna be? Well, in this video, we're gonna kind of go through some different types of categories and ideas that you can start to think about to really get to a sense of where you want to be. So let's get right into that. All right, so you're exploring options. Where should I live when I get out of whatever cold place you're in now and, you know, spend the winters or maybe all year in the Phoenix area here in Arizona? A lot of our retiree clients ask us about the 55 plus communities. They're super popular. There's over 75 of them actually throughout the Phoenix metro, the whole state of Arizona, maybe 100, 110. Most of them are in the central Arizona area, which is the Phoenix metro area, but it can be super overwhelming, daunting, confusing. Like, what are the differences between them? Which one's gonna be a good fit for you? Well, in this video, I'm gonna kind of go through kind of the varying options that you have. I'm gonna highlight 5 different communities from the ultra luxury down to the absolute, you know, most affordable. We'll talk about, you know, where you can get the best bang for your buck. And look, if I don't highlight a community that you're already familiar with and that you really like, I apologize. These are just my personal opinions. You know, there's a lot of other great communities that do fit in these categories. And by the way, if that is the case and you're still not sure, which, look, by the end of this video, I hope you have some good information and, you know, framework to think about. But do yourself a favor, give us a call, shoot us a quick email, text message. We'd be happy to have a discussion with you about the different communities available, what the HOA fees are, where they're located in relation to other things. Maybe you already have some friends or relatives down here. And at the very end of the video, we'll talk about reasons that some of our clients choose not to live in one of these active adult 55 and up communities, because there's definitely some reasons that it's not a good fit for everybody. So let's get right into it. All right, so as you can see here on this map, there are tons and tons and tons of these 55 and up neighborhoods. Some of them are absolutely age restricted, you know, communities where you have to be, or at least one of the people, if you're, you know, 2 of you, one of you has to be at least 55 or older. There are some communities that offer exceptions, you know, down to like 40, 45 in some cases. Some people retire early. But as you can see throughout the Phoenix metro area, let me just zoom out so you can see the whole state. 55 up neighborhoods are everywhere, but up here is Las Vegas. Down here you've got San Diego, Los Angeles. We're gonna zoom back in on the Phoenix metro, which is where our team operates out of and where we're experts in. If you're looking for a place down in Tucson or up north in Sedona or Flagstaff, I have other agents that I can refer you to. So still, give me a call, shoot me a text. I'll be happy to introduce you to somebody that I know in those areas that can definitely help. But in this case, it can be definitely intimidating, and you know which one's best for you. Just to kind of give you an idea of where they're at. As you can see, the vast majority of the communities, especially the most desirable and popular ones, they're on the far outskirts of the Phoenix metro. We're down here in Santan Valley, and Cantera is one that I really like that's down there. Otherwise, you're up here in northwest Peoria, you know, North Phoenix, even out here down in Maricopa. There's a really great community. And if you go down here south, even to Casa Grande, but they're all, generally speaking, most of the, especially newer communities, naturally they're on the outskirts of the Phoenix metro because that's where land is available to build as the metro continues to grow. By the way, guys, we do have this spreadsheet that we keep updated on a regular basis. It has about, well, the top 38 communities of the Phoenix Metro. Typically, there's a lot of other smaller ones that, you know, like offer trailer court setups, things like that. Those aren't typically the ones that most of our clients are interested in. So we try to focus on communities that are at least 500-600 homes and larger, you know, with drive times under an hour to the Phoenix airport. So obviously hit us up, we'll get you access to this list. You can look at it, sort through it, you know, use it to kind of help narrow down specific communities. So some of the main reasons a lot of our clients are interested in these 55 and up communities are the social atmosphere. I mean, that is really, I think, the #1 reason most people are interested in these communities. There are other reasons which we'll get into in a second, but yeah, what kind of people are already living there? What do you have in common with them? You know, which of these 70 or so communities are gonna have the right vibe? For example, if you're just retiring or you just retired, maybe you're right at 55 years old. I've had clients that, you know, one partner hasn't yet fully retired and the other one has, so they kind of are part-timing it until they can both be full-time, you know, hanging out here in the wintertime or year-round. But if you're 55 and the majority of the people in a certain community are in their late 70s or even 80s, I've heard it more than a few times, like, what do I have in common with these guys? Or for example, if you're in your 70s and you're, you know, tired of the cold and you want to be in a neighborhood with people in a similar age group where you kind of have the similar things going on at that point in life, that makes sense. And so 55 and up is, look, there's a lot of varying, you know, neighborhoods and vibes and things that people want to do. You know, the lifestyle of a 55-year-old, 65-year-old, and 75-year-old, those 30 years, there's a pretty significant gap in life experience and thoughts and issues and, you know, what's going on. So it's really hard to narrow down where you want to go without some good advice and guidance on what that looks like. So in this video, the rest of it, I'm just going to give you a taste of what your different options look like. We're going to start off with what I consider one of the most luxurious 55 and up neighborhoods, and we're talking about Trilogy at Vistancia. This is up in northwestern Peoria. The Vistancia neighborhood as a whole is a more traditional, if you want to call that, master plan community, but there's nothing really traditional about it. It is over the top, beautiful homes, beautiful landscaping, guard gated entrances. Golf courses are absolutely amazing. In fact, there's actually 2 golf courses in this neighborhood. One of them you have access to as a resident, an HOA member. Of course, you still have to pay for green fees and things like that. There is another golf course that's in Vistancia. It is a fully private country club. So if you're looking for a more upscale golf experience, not that the initial golf course option is beautiful, but if you're looking for that over the top, you know, private golf membership environment, there, you know, the country club up the street is, I think the entry fee is around 40,000, 1,200 bucks a month, plus some social fees, things like that. So if you're familiar with the country club concept, this isn't new to you, but if you aren't and you're curious, happy to have a little bit more in-depth discussion about that. So this community started back in 2004. Shea Homes, which was the builder developer of this, they do really good quality work. They're one of the more reputable builders. Of course, there's many others. However, there's about 3,600, 3,300 homes in this particular community. So it's a good size. You know, it's guard gated. You've got 2 clubs, the Kiva and the Mita. Depending on which part of the neighborhood you live in, you can go to either one of them, but there's 2 spaced out so that you can go to whichever one is closest to you, or if you want to go to the other, that's great. You know, you've got state-of-the-art fitness equipment, Olympic-sized swimming pools, an on-site spa. There's on-site restaurants and cafes, things like that. The biggest thing you're going to notice about being in this luxury environment, you're basically living in a resort, either just for the winters when you come down, or like a lot of the residents, year-round, right? It's definitely somewhere that people choose to live year-round. You've got this serene mountain backdrop. You're right off the 303 freeway, which is a brand new freeway just a few years ago. It's still pretty quiet. You're not in the city, so you're up tucked away. But because you do have such quick freeway access, you can drop onto that 303 freeway and connect over to Scottsdale or into Phoenix for sporting events or, you know, art festivals, things like that. Or if you're flying out, you know, you're definitely under an hour to the Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport. So definitely a, you know, a good setup that way. You're close to, you know, nature. You can head out up into the mountains and the lakes. So if you've got, you know, watercraft and toys and you like to go, you know, wakeboarding with the kids or grandkids, things like that, all of that is really accessible when you're in that northwestern part of the Phoenix Valley. And again, if you're not sure about which areas of the valley are which, there's a separate video on our channel that walks you through all of the Phoenix Metro. So go check that video out. I'll put a card or a button you can click right above here. Otherwise, if you're watching on your TV screen, make sure you click the subscribe button so that you can come back to us when you're on your phone or on your laptop and look at all the other videos videos that explain what's going on. So here at Trilogy at Vistancia, there's also, of course, pickleball courts, there's tennis clubs, a whole bunch of different clubs actually that you can get involved with. If you're into RVing or traveling or other things that you want to meet some of your neighbors and go on trips together, all of that is organized, at the clubhouses. So you can set up, meet everybody, kind of get involved at whatever level you're comfortable with. So you can definitely mingle with and hang out with your neighbors and invite some friends along, things like that. So that's a pretty cool setup in this kind of a community. But ultimately what you're going to see is just everything is just super lush, green, just beautiful and new. And that's a big part of it. This is a very new community for the area. It's not the newest. In fact, like I said earlier, it's fully built out now, but you're gonna it's a very luxurious environment. We can go into way more detail on this, but let's go ahead and move on to the next. To be in one of the most luxurious communities, Trilogy at Vistancia, homes are gonna be, a median home price is around $650 right now. I can double check, that's in early 2024. But in this time period, most homes in this community range from around $550 all the way up to maybe $1.5 million on the very top end right now. Obviously, as time goes, prices typically go up. But yeah, that's kind of where you're looking at for price point. So if you're thinking that you want to be in that ballpark, depending on what you're looking for a size of home, this particular community is looking at about that price range. So to be in one of the most luxurious communities, price point wise, most of the homes in this neighborhood are going to be a median, not average, but a median of around $650. There are homes around that $550 mark, all the way up to $1.5 million, but that kind of gives you a ballpark range of where you're going to be at, depending on how much size and square footage you want. We can talk about all of that in a one-on-one consultation to kind of show you what that looks like as far as, budget on a home here in Arizona. All right, so next up, our most active community. And the reason why I decided that Pebble Creek would be our most active community in Goodyear, just in my experience and being there and talking to residents and working with clients who have actually bought homes in the community and lived there, I'd say the vast majority of the people are very active, meaning that daily fitness and working out is a part of almost everyone's routine. Everyone's out for walks on a regular basis. The community is kind of laid out in a way that it encourages people to get together with their neighbors and walk around, go golfing, go do this, go do that. Again, a lot of the communities are kind of based around this, but just specifically so as far as kind of giving you an idea of different options and available and who lives where. Pebble Creek is definitely a very active community. It's also a very new community. There's actually still options for brand new construction homes. You can pick the lot, pick your floor plan, pick your options. We have a lot of experience guiding our clients through that. There's definitely things that the builder is going to want to upsell you on that is priced, let's just say, to their advantage, right? So some of our clients in the past have wanted to have a upgraded shower, for example. The builder wanted like an extra $18,000, $19,000 for that upgraded shower, when a contractor that we know could come in after closing and tear out the basic bathroom and do the whole thing for $5 or $6 grand, basically saving our client $13,000, $14,000. Now, for some people, that's not a lot of money and they'd rather just spend the extra 14 grand for the convenience. But if you're wanting to have some of those upgrades and things like that without having to break the bank, it's really not that difficult to order a basic house, if you will, and not order all of the upgrades and options that the builder offers. And then right after you close, especially if it closes in the summertime and you're not here anyways, then you can have a contractor come in, tear out the basic cabinets, tear out the lower option flooring or whatever it is that you want to have upgraded and put all the new stuff in. Definitely a way to get a much nicer home for a lot less cost. But Pebble Creek definitely is a great location. As far as all of the newer 55 and up neighborhoods, Pebble Creek is basically the only one that's what I would say in the metro area versus on the outskirts, like I showed you earlier at the beginning of this video. So if you're, if proximity to the Phoenix Gateway Airport's important to you, or you want quick access to hit the freeway and head over to, Old Town Scottsdale, or you want to go to downtown Phoenix for a Suns game, or you want to go out to Glendale for, a Cardinals game, things like that, Pebble Creek is a really good option for that, just because of its location and where it's set up. It's in the city versus on the outskirts. So it's a huge advantage. Definitely my vote for most active community. If you think your community is more active, comment below and tell me why. Obviously, there's definitely other communities that are very active, just my personal experience, my 2 cents. So as far as the size of Pebble Creek, you're looking at about 6,200 homes. That's double the size of Trilogy at Vistancia. It's also a guard-gated community, so people can't come and go out of the neighborhood that either don't live there or aren't guests of, you or your neighbors, right? So there's definitely a level of security, which for a lot of our clients who aren't here in the summertime, that lock and leave concept is definitely super desirable. Literally lock your door and head back north or wherever you live in the summertime. It makes it really convenient. Landscapers, I mean, there's obviously lots and lots of different companies that do landscaping, but it's super easy to ask your neighbors, who do you use? And usually you can get a pretty good price from a lot of those guys that can maintain, the front yard. There's different options around that as well, as far as whether, they come in the backyard and do things for you, or the HOA manages things. Those are all case by case and community by community issues, but kind of give you an idea of, most active lifestyle and, what the options are. Huge clubhouse with tennis, bocce ball, pickleball, all of those things. So the people in Pebble Creek, definitely very active, very social. And I'd say, generally speaking, from the retirement age group, the younger group is for sure there. Not that there aren't people that, towards the end of retirement, if you will, but definitely I'd say more of a younger retirement crowd is in Pebble Creek. So just a little bit about the background of the community. Pebble Creek started construction in 2009, and it is still, obviously, like I mentioned earlier, being built out. So if you want a brand new home, we can help address that. If you'd rather focus your attention on a resale home, a home that's already been lived in, definitely we can send you what's available, on a weekly or even daily basis. Reach out to us and we'll set you up with a portal where you'll get automatically notified every time a new property hits the market in this community. And as far as price point, the median home price in Pebble Creek is definitely a little bit less than you'd see in our last community. We're at $578,000. Of course, there's a varying degree of what you're looking for. You can go extremely high as well. So now that we've seen these two communities, let's go next into like a more budget-friendly community. So the original Sun City, they started back in the 1960s, early 1960s, when that started becoming, they started building homes and they had models and everything. That's obviously been built out a long time ago. The average home in that neighborhood was built 1978 is the median. So half the homes were built before 78 and the other half after. By the 80s, for sure, everything was done. I don't know the exact year on that, but it is an older community because, of course, as far as 55 and up active adult communities, it was the first. Parts are gated, sort of, not really. So costs are a lot less. HOA fees are a lot less. And the average price in Sun City as of early 2024 is in the low 300s. So for a lot of folks that are on a more of a tighter budget, I'm not saying that $350,000 is a small amount of money, but as far as the Phoenix Metro is concerned, in neighborhoods and 55 and up as well, that's definitely going to be your most affordable options are going to be that 300 range, for, a single family home in a 55 and up community. As you tour around and kind of see what Sun City looks like, there's still a lot of amenities. You've still got golf courses, you've got swimming pools, you've got the bar to hang out with your friends, you've got clubs, you've got all of the normal things. It's just that it's going to be older, right? The average home in this neighborhood is about 50 years old now. So as you can imagine, a lot of the facilities, while they are very well maintained, they're definitely aged and older and not necessarily like the newest, latest, greatest thing. But remember, like I said at the beginning of the video, the majority of the people who are attracted to 55 and up neighborhoods, they're looking for a social outlet. They want to hang out, have a good time. They don't want to be alone, stuck at home, looking at snow falling and, kids and grandkids are out doing their lives in school. That's the story I get from the majority of our clients that come down, is they just want to come down and hang out all winter long, have a good time. Some people have even said it kind of feels like college in a way. Everyone's just out enjoying life and hanging out every day. Like, you get really good at it. So me personally, I'm obviously working all the time in different stage of life than most of my clients when they come in, but it's pretty fun to kind of swap stories and see how that goes. But the reality is, there's definitely a lot of really great things going on in Sun City. It's going to be the most affordable option just because it's frankly the oldest and one of the largest neighborhoods. I wrote it down. Yeah, it's definitely one of the largest, if not the largest. 28,000 homes in that area. area. So you can imagine splitting up HOA fees and amenities and fees to maintain everything, split that up over 28,000 homes. There's a reason why it's a lot more affordable. A lot of people love driving their golf carts around. Some people literally don't have like a normal car. They'll fly in, take an Uber or a taxi to their home, and they've got their golf cart in the garage, and all winter long, they're just golf carting around. You don't really need a real car, which is pretty cool. All right, guys, so next up on our list, the best value community, and I'm gonna vote Sun City Festival. It's a very relatively new community. I think about 7,200 homes is what's planned for. It's growing, and they started building in 2005. So the amenities and everything there are very new compared to, let's say, Sun City, the original, which is obviously about 50 years old now. There's a lot going on. You get a median home price right now in this community, and it's very luxurious. But they got a good balance between luxurious and affordability as far as HOA fees, things like that. But the average median home price in early 2024 is at just over 500,000. So lots of new construction options available, just like in Pebble Creek. Pebble Creek obviously is in a much different location, and it's much more built out. But Sun City Festival, lots and lots of opportunity here. Plus, being a more early adopter into one of these newer communities allows you to take advantage of, more rapid appreciation as more and more people start buying up the lots and having the homes built. Just like we've seen in every other major active adult community, prices continue to go up as more and more people are in. So let's take a quick look at what some of the amenities look like and the slight downside. So as far as downside, the only thing that is really undesirable about this, which actually might be desirable to many of you watching, is it's not in the Phoenix metro. I mean, it is, but it's not. It's like way far out in the west. Let's take a look at the map real quick. You can see Sun City Festival. It's basically further to the west of Sun City Grand, Sun City West. Everything out here is basically brand new. They broke ground on this community back in 2005. Still lots and lots of available lots for brand new construction. Lots of upside potential as far as it being a growing community. So in Sun City Festival, the amenities are just absolutely gorgeous, first class. The landscaping is just top of the line. Everything is just beautiful. You're like basically living in a resort at a fraction of the price of some of the other places that we've touched on already on this video. You've got your softball fields, you've got your clubhouses. If you're into woodworking, building projects, you've got clubs and facilities for that. You got your dog park, so if you want to take your dogs out to go socialize with the neighbors' dogs, definitely something that everybody really enjoys. The Indigo Grill is an on-site restaurant where you can, hang out with your neighbors, or if you got family and friends from out of town, take them out to dinner right inside your own community so you don't have to go anywhere. It's wonderful. At the heart of the community is the Sage Recreation Center. It's 31,000 square feet with every amenity and workout facilities. You got your tennis courts, you got pickleball courts, you got all kinds of really exciting amenities to enjoy with your spouse or your friends, your neighbors. It's definitely just a really wonderful way to hang out. But like I said, it is definitely a little bit of a drive out of the core Phoenix metro area. But then again, yeah, it's definitely desirable for a lot of people for that reason. It's quieter out there. You got your golf course, you got everything that you want without having to be too far from the Phoenix metro, but you're not in it, and the cost savings are obvious. A similar community closer to the Phoenix metro immediately adds $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 to the price tag of a home of equal quality and luxuriousness. All right, guys, so next up, I'm gonna award the best mix community. By mix, I mean variety of options of housing, and that's going to be Sun Lakes, which is in a completely different part of the Phoenix metro than the others that we've been talking about so far. The communities that I've highlighted are all in the northwest to the west to the solid west, like Goodyear area for Pebble Creek. So Sun Lakes is actually located in the East Valley. We're basically in Chandler. We're not technically in the city of Chandler. Sun Lakes is its own incorporated area with its own. It's in the county of Maricopa County, technically not in the city limits of Chandler. But a lot of people really love Sun Lakes for a lot of reasons. There's 5 different communities within Sun Lakes. There's the original Sun Lakes, which was built back in the 70s, and then you get all the way through to Ironwood and Oakwood, which are the two newest neighborhoods. And those are shown right here. So just kind of give you an idea. And by the way, there's a whole separate YouTube video just on Sun Lakes it walks through every single part of this community. It's one of my personal favorites just because it attracts so many different people at so many different price points, and there's so many amenities. And when you live in one area, you have access to all the others. There's golf, and it's really, let's just show you real quick. So the original Sun Lakes Country Club is this section here. That's 1 square mile. 1 square mile here, 1 square mile here, which is your Cottonwood. Then you get the third segment here, which is kind of separated into the two. This part is gated. And then you've got Ironwood and Oakwood, which are these two segments here, leaning out over this area as well. But you have the major golf courses. So basically, time frame wise, this was built in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s to 2010s. But a lot of this, yeah, this is newer. But really why a lot of people love this is, one, there's lots of different variety of options to pick from as far as these 5 segments or communities within Sun Lakes, but it's location. Whereas all the other communities that we talked about are way out here in the West Valley. They are accessible. It's not that there aren't freeways. Sun Lakes is very accessible to one of the most desirable suburbs of the area, which is Chandler and Gilbert. It's actually a really quick access to jump on the freeway and head up to the Phoenix airport, or if you've got friends in Scottsdale or you want to go out in Old Town. For that reason, Sun Lakes is definitely one of the most underlooked, I guess, neighborhoods. There's so much marketing and information out there about these neighborhoods that are up in the Northwest Valley, and granted, they're great neighborhoods, especially if that's what you want and lock and leave. But if you're kind of in a situation like a lot of our clients where they already have their kids or their grandkids have moved to Arizona, and Gilbert and Chandler being one of the most popular suburbs that are just very big about families and kids and things like that, Sun Lakes is definitely nice for that reason, where you might be interested in living in Sun Lakes to have your social outlet with your neighbors that are in a similar stage of life, but you're very, very close by with everybody else that might live in Chandler or Gilbert, or heading out towards Queen Creek even, and down here, which again, there's other videos on our channel that talk about this, not from a retirement perspective, but just neighborhoods in general. So Sun Lakes, you're gonna wanna check out the video on that. I'll post a card right above so you can go explore that neighborhood as well. Again, guys, earlier in the video I talked about that I kind of show you around some different areas and ideas of what these neighborhoods look like. Essentially, if you want to just make it very basic, they're closed door, HOA controlled communities that offer a ton of amenities at different levels of, physical quality or clubs or whatever. A lot of that is typically dictated by the age of the community. So the older a community is, typically the lower the price point is, right? And it just kind of makes sense because it's older infrastructure, older houses, just a different type of setup. Location might be the most critical thing to you, depending on, where you might already have friends and family here, things like that. And so I only touched on, 4 or 5 communities here out of 75. We really specialize in about 40, which are the top 40. There's a bunch of other smaller ones that, we can definitely bring to your attention if none of those 40 are a good fit. But want to talk real quick about some reasons some people don't want to live in a 55 and up neighborhood. Why, the benefits are obvious. What are the drawbacks, right? So it is HOA controlled. For some people who haven't lived in an HOA before, especially in one that is, as regulated and, governed as strongly as a gated community, there's a lot of rules. So if you're not the kind of person that wants to follow rules and details and, just petty stuff sometimes, probably not a good fit for you. You're not gonna really like it when you get those annoying notices in your mailbox that you left your trash can out too long, or, things like that. So for some people, it's just not a good fit. But the other reason, and I want to get into this, which I've already kind of touched on, is your desire and goal of why you want to be in a 55 and up neighborhood. For the vast majority of our clients, they're looking for that social connection, camaraderie, hanging out with friends that, and making new friends that, are at a similar stage of life and they want to do similar things. And so for some people that are moving to Arizona to retire and hang out and enjoy the weather, like I mentioned just a second ago with Sun Lakes, a lot of them already have family and grandkids and things like that. So if you're the kind of person who's very, very much centered and surrounded by, family activities and hanging out with grandkids and things like that, and, you really truly actually enjoy it, you might want to just stick with, looking for a home that fits a normal neighborhood with families and kids that isn't exclusive to 55 and up. A lot of our clients have done that where they will buy a home, you know, within a mile or something of their kids and grandkids, or, you know, even closer, depends on the situation, right? So those are some serious considerations of, you know, what you're gonna be doing with your time. If your time is, you know, 90% surrounded by family and grandkids and things like that, the cost of being in a 55 and up neighborhood and having all those amenities and all those cool things, it might not make sense. You know, really, why pay for those HOA fees and be a part of that if you don't even have time to enjoy it? So that's a major consideration. Of course, I'm just sharing general information that hopefully is valuable to you in some way, but since I don't know who you are, we haven't talked, we don't, you know, haven't had any back and forth, it's just me talking to you, maybe on your TV screen, something like that. And by the way, if you are on your TV in your living room, hit the pause button, grab this phone number, you can shoot me a text message, you can give me a call, or you can shoot me an email, youtube@phoenixareahome.com, and we'd be happy to set up a time to talk one-on-one over a Zoom call, talk about the different neighborhoods that might be a good fit for you, talk about what you already know about Arizona, where have you been before, what do you like to do, and literally, seriously, we won't be able to do that unless you do that. Send me a text, give me a quick phone call, and we'll be able to go from there. And guys, until the next video, catch you in the next one.